You've been a fan of the DIY detail line?
Absolutely, since you began.
I want to show you the ceramic coating I just did for a viewer of DIY Detail and the House of Rags. Oh my gosh, it looks so amazing. But what do we do? Let's start from the beginning. Let's start with setting the scene, shall we? Eric's wife drives this 2015 Volkswagen Bug up and down the canyon every day for work. It's roughly an hour commute back and forth each day. So you can see on the lower panels here, on the lowers, it's got a lot of accumulation, looks like water spots. Let's take a look at the rubber seals here, kind of what appears to be permanent damage around the windows there. And it's certainly a pattern we saw around the vehicle. There's also a lot of gunk under the latch here. And if you look around the turbo emblem, pretty much all the emblems had a nasty outline of accumulation that just comes from a vehicle this old, being outside a lot. Even though Eric does a great job keeping this ride washed, tight spaces like emblems are going to require some special attention. You can see it there again on the Volkswagen emblem latch here. Wheels got a little neglected as well. I told Eric we deep clean these and ceramic coat them to make them easier to clean in the future. And I'm not sure if it's minerals or what, but around the side mirrors and in many seams, there was a stained white accumulation in hard to reach areas too. So more on that to come. So iron remover first. Starting with the wheels, iron remover first, then some all clean mixed with a little of Josh V's Rogue pH soap for a little extra cling and dwell. This is the wheel approach. Then I take my detail keg with DIY Detail Rinseless Wash. I'm just getting it on the surface here. You can use a spray bottle or a garden sprayer or this fancy keg. The whole idea here is get rinseless wash on the surface to break down the grit. Then we're gonna pressure wash it off so that grit goes off safely. We just wanna follow standard best practices here. Now I have rinseless wash in my bucket, and that's where I'm pulling water from into my cordless pressure washer. It's kind of a unique setup here, but I can actually run rinseless wash through the pressure washer. So as I'm rinsing, I'm actually applying rinseless wash again at the same time. So as I let that dwell on the paint, yes, we're outside. What's left is a rinseless wash solution on the paint, so you're not gonna deal with water spots there. That's dwelling. I'm going after wheels first. First, the wheel faces with the green wheel and body brush from DIY Detail. And if you want to find any of the products you see in this video, just go to thehouseofrags.com and use promo code NICKATNIGHT. Again, that's one word, NICKATNIGHT, to save yourself 10% off. It's also a free way to say thank you to me. If you enjoy the content, like, subscribe to the channel, and if you're going to buy from House of Rags, use my promo code. I'd really appreciate it. That'd be awesome. Then it's a contact wash with DIY Detail Legacy Sponge dunked in my bucket of rinseless wash. So we go around the vehicle, but we're kind of left with those residue-filled emblems. One thing I really love for these emblems that just have this really chalky white residue everywhere that never seems to come out in washes is Ragnarok wheel wash, the acid. It just seems to do a great job getting in there. Yeah, I don't know why. It's a very strong product, but and you give it a little dwell time. It took about 4 cycles of this, honestly. Applying it, letting it dwell, but not dry. You don't want to let acid dry. Agitating it in with the wheel and body brush, and then rinsing. 4 cycles, but those emblems did come out very clean. One more round of rinseless wash sprayed on the surface, and this is just to boost lubrication before I decontaminate. Now, using the quad fold decontamination towel from DIY Detail, we do 1 spray of iron remover on the panel, 1 on the towel, and we work one side of the towel per panel, new side of the towel. After 4 panels, we redunk it in the rinseless wash bucket. Very easy. Now after the decontamination stage, I noticed that a lot of the white residue in the seams between panels is kind of nasty. So I'm spraying some Ragnarok wheel cleaner using the wheel and body brush there, then rinsing off the paint 1 more time. Yeah, this brush is nice to kind of get into all these seams, you know what I mean? Like where we haven't been able to get in with the Legacy Sponge. I want to take a look at the water beading here. It's actually pretty good just after iron remover. Yep. So we're gonna do water spot remover now, hopefully bring back some of the beading, but really it's just about deep cleaning the paint. It's just about getting the minerals gone before we polish and coat. Yes. And but the hood, I mean, the roof, really nice water beading here. So it's in great shape. All right, water spot remover, rinseless wash, dampened towel. That's the move here. Indeed, that is the move. As you can see, I'm putting the water spot remover on paint. Eric is watching just about every step of this journey. He's a very enthusiastic enthusiast. He wants to know what's going on and how to maintain the coating after we're all done. Exact same process we're doing right now. So wash, iron remover, decon towel, rinse, then spray water spot remover on. If you're in a time crunch, you could just spray the water spot remover on and rinse it off. But it does a much better job if you, and even though I'm thoroughly over applying a lot of this, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of product. I'm probably using half a bottle, way too much. But you could do this process and then just rinse it off if you were in a time crunch. That's okay. It's even better to spray it on and then use a rinseless wash dampened towel and then agitate it in and then wipe and then spray off. Oh my gosh, words are hard today. But exactly what we're doing here. We are just getting the water spot remover into the paint and allowing it to work the way it's supposed to. And at this point, there shouldn't be anything we're contending with in terms of dirt, so maybe a little bit on the wiper blade there, but so you could flip it if you want. But other than that, everything should be so clean you don't need to flip. And you can tell where you've wiped or where you haven't if you lose track of where you've been, like I sometimes do. Let's see if she beads. All right, this is awesome. So we have fully decontaminated this. Now it's time to dry and bring it in the garage. It's worth noting Eric has the DIY detail lineup in his garage, which is so awesome, so amazing to see that support. But he really wanted a pro to not only do it right, but to kind of watch and learn from. So that's why I'm here. So we get to polishing here. I'm kind of explaining how we do a test spot. And after trying the yellow waffle pad with gold standard polish, we realized, yes, it got the paint shiny, but there's still a lot of deep stuff here. The balance is it's 10-year-old paint, so we don't want to go after anything too aggressively, but our gold standard polish with our wool pad on the 25mm dual action cordless or cord-free polisher is still not all that aggressive when I'm polishing on speed 2 to 3. So we decided to one step with the DIY detail wool cutting pad and the gold standard polish. So you can see all this residue into here, right? Really struggling to get that out. Don't have a steamer. Ragnarok wheel acid helped on the spots that I could actually get to, but actually the customer just had this little stick. So think of it as like a popsicle stick. Sorry for all the camera color changes here. I think it's just trying to keep up with all the different lighting situations. So I'm just gonna put this right into there and just work it like that. Because the only thing that was going to move that was polish. Just follow up with just rinseless wash dampened towel and no polish on there. And look at that. Whatever you think you can see in the camera, you can't really. That's just the paint. All of a sudden, there's not a bunch of crud in that seam. Look at that. Awesome. So there were enough nooks and crannies on here between the Volkswagen logos and everything where I just wanted to utilize the rotary movement, which constantly spins and never stops spinning and is amazing for edge work. Really just cleaning up areas that are kind of nasty or grungy. Remember the 10-year-old car?
Yes.
So we just tried the rotary on the back and you loved the gloss, right?
It was great.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? It doesn't take that long. Speed 1, I can do like half the hood and not change. I did this with Ivan once and he said, you don't have to do 2 or 3 passes. It's like 1 to 2 passes and you can work a much larger section if you're just jeweling. So I figured, you know what, let's just clean everything up. There were a lot of seams that I introduced polish on a popsicle stick and rag and then rinseless washed out. Kind of made a mess. Let's just kind of finesse it. So I did the first half with the rotary jeweling pad and gold standard polish. I'll just show you. And then we'll just wipe it down with a rinseless dampened towel.
Excellent job. So Nick, how long do you have before you can wipe it down?
You could wipe this down tomorrow if you wanted to. I wouldn't leave the gold standard polish on paint
in direct sunlight with all the elements. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but as long as you have a rinseless wash dampened towel, it's literally, you know, designed to cut through the polishing oils, and then you go ahead and wipe it down with a dry towel. So that's what I love about leaving it all on. You know, Ivan will do section by section. I leave it all on. It reminds me of where I've polished and where I haven't, which is good for me. And I can take as long as I dang want. I could go get lunch after this, come back and wipe it off. It's no problem. So it's really easy that way. And then I love the Rotary. I don't have to wipe off the first step to go ahead and Rotary polish here. I just put one spray gold standard polish, keep the pad clean, and I can actually go over sections that I've already hit with the Rotary, or with the dual action. And then you'll just see it looks slightly different where I've polished with the DA versus with the Rotary. You know, obviously it's a different movement of the machine, but yeah, no, I think it's gonna come out real nice.
Excellent, excellent. Now, if this were outside, do you have to wipe it down pretty soon?
You don't have to. I'm more likely to wipe it down faster than a day, but you
Okay.
can still do the whole car and then wipe it off after.
So wouldn't make a difference?
No.
Great.
I'm thinking about an extra 10 or 15% of gloss with this step. So most of the work was already done. We're just kind of refining here.
So Nick, what is the difference between using a panel prep and just a rinseless wash?
In what context?
Before you go ahead and put on the coating.
Well, the panel prep's a little aggressive. It can swell the paint, so I don't really want to do that as I'm wiping off polish. I used to use panel prep as my way to wipe off polish, and I just feel like you've just spent all this time polishing it. I don't want to damage the paint or risk scarring it or doing anything while I'm removing the polish. So the rinseless wash dampened towel cuts through the polish oils really well, and that's what people may use like panel prep for, because panel prep can kind of cut through the polishing oils. Just use a dampened towel with rinseless, then do a dry towel after. Then you can do your panel prep or your adhesion promoter polish stage.
I see.
Yeah. Panel prep, there's not a lot of times I need panel prep anymore. I used to use it a lot.
Right.
Rinseless wash on a dampened rag, it's just so good. By opening the door, you don't have to step on the door frame to get closer. You can just get your body in a little closer. So that's a nice trick. So now's the fun part, Eric. We get to use a rinseless wash dampened towel and then a dry towel to just see the results.
Excellent. Nick, does a nap on a towel matter when you're wiping it down?
It does. Like, I don't generally use really fluffy towels except for during coating. So we have the Freebird 400, used to be our plush buffing towel. That's a nice follow-up towel that I like to use after a short nap, but I always prefer kind of a short nap, kind of a pearl weave, or we've got our level 1 coating towels, which are great for polish wipe off and leveling the coating as that first wipe. And then we have the insurance towel that is our Freebird 400, powered by the House of Rags. Anyway, it's nice to have that fluffy towel, to have a second. I just like having, honestly, a second color when I'm wiping off. So I know that's my rinseless wash dampened towel. I'll let Mother Nature do a lot of this for me. And then it's really easy once you let most of the rinseless wash kind of residue dry on the surface to then come in with your second towel. But yeah, the nap matters, and I used to be guilty of just using really fluffy towels way too often, to the point where it's like, what am I doing? I just feel like these short nap towels do such a better job in terms of, you know, paint safe and effective around polishing and ceramic coating.
So what are the really fluffy towels actually used for? It looks great.
The really fluffy towels, they're used, for me, the only time I really like to use them is when I'm removing adhesion promoter polish as my second towel, or when I'm removing the excess ceramic coating, the leveling process. So the leveling process, I use it for my second towel. It's nice and grabby. It does really nice around logos. Like if I'm trying to level a coating around a logo, it just tends to get in that logo or emblem and just grab a little bit. So yeah, I think the longer they are, kind of the more grabby they can be, but also I find the short towels are very grabby, the short nap towels, for what I'm doing right now in the best way.
Okay, so now it's time for adhesion promoter polish. This would take the step of panel prep right before you ceramic coat. And with our rotary jeweling pad, actually our jeweling pad on a dual action sander, this palm sander is the Fendo. You can get it on Amazon. It's not the cheapest one, but it is so quiet and smooth, so we use it a lot in the DIY Detail Studios. Just get yourself a palm sander to apply this. Not a rotary polisher, not a big 25mm stroke DA, a palm sander. And a couple 3 drops of adhesion promoter polish. Less is actually way more. And I'm not actually trying to do much polishing here. I am swelling the paint. I am opening up the clear coat just a little bit. We're adding shine and gloss with the abrasive movement and with the adhesion promoter polish and the ingredients that it has. So you're actually going to get a boost in shine. You're going to get better adhesion and performance and longevity from your ceramic coating after this step. It's just a winner. So it is actually replaced panel prep in terms of the step for me. Again, you're not going 4 passes, really trying to achieve defect removal. It's just about 2 or 3 passes, get it on the paint, and you can basically leave it on as long as you want. You could do adhesion promoter polish today, be like, okay, that was a long day, I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna wake up and do this tomorrow. Wipe off the app, adhesion promoter polish tomorrow, and then you could go ahead and apply your ceramic coating. So that's the final step here, on plastics, on paint. We're just making sure this goes everywhere. Then I wipe it off with dry towels, and we are ready to ceramic coat.
Okay, so it is finally the time. We chose the 5-year coating. It's incredibly glossy. The 8 years probably ideal for a daily driver. The 5-year is amazing as well. I'm just partial to the 5-year, and it's the one that I had, and we talked about it. And
correct.
It's kind of my favorite bang for the buck coating that we offer. So we're just gonna do this. Do you have any questions about the process or what we're doing here?
Not at this time, Nick, but I'm sure I will as soon as you get going here. I'll have some questions.
So I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 to 12 drops is what we say.
Now, is that just the primer drops? Or
These are the primer drops, yep.
Okay.
And usually that's way too much coating. I'm just gonna spread it out. And because it's pretty humid in here, we wait for about 50% of it to flash. I think we're good to go. Oh my gosh, it's so easy to level. That's what I love about these coatings. Truly DIY friendly, right? And pros use these because they work so great. But you want an easy to install coating if you're a professional. And then I just take my insurance towel here, instant gloss, instant slickness.
And what is the nap on that towel?
I don't even know. I believe this is a House of Rags towel that I got a long time ago, but it's a very plush towel.
So it's a real flush one now.
Yep, and we have a similar one that we call the Freebird 400.
Okay.
So it's got a very plush towel as well.
Nick, what do you do if you apply too much coating?
I try to rescue it with the coating applicator and redistribute it because we don't want drips, because that can lead to like these phantom high spots where everything looks good and then you bring it out in the sun later and all of a sudden it's like, why is there a high spot there? That's happened to me, ask me how I know. So we just want to kind of apply a less is more approach and just essentially like 2 drops to reapply.
So now you're down to 2 so you did 10 and now it's just 2 are needed.
Just 2 are needed, and you just kind of go by feel and sight.
Okay.
It's like, I think I could add another one. It's easy to go overboard though. You don't want to add too much coating. You just want to see it going onto the paint. As long as you can see it going on, you're doing fine. And yeah, this is just curing very quickly to the point where I can just get it on there and level. And our new coatings have instant bond technology, so you don't need to wait any amount of time. You just get it on the paint and then make sure there's no high spots, essentially.
So is today's coating the same as the coating that was developed 5, 6 years ago?
No, I mean, we've only been around since 2022, but we've been developing it, much before that. So these new Type 2 coatings, they're forever chemical free, so PFAS free. Instant bond technology, so you can just wipe right away. And you can actually wash the car after 3 days now, not 7, which is nice. You don't want to do a heavy duty wash, but a rinseless wash is fine after 3 days, because the coating is still curing for those first 7 days. All right.
Excellent.
So remember, I skipped the bumper.
Yes, you did.
Let's do the bumper last, because it's got all that plastic on the front, and I don't want to deal with it right now. You were asking what I put on my windshield?
Of your car when you the rain.
I've got C6 Hydro Glass on my glass, and honestly, I think it just really likes it when you wash it often. If it's washed and clean, it'll do a good job. I feel like when you let it get too grimy and dirty and you have all the bug splatter on there,
yes,
it's just a little more annoying visually. So I just keep it washed, and you can add ceramic gloss on there if you want, or you can just keep the coating on there. But
well, I'm interested to see what the coating does. Yes.
oh yeah, no, this is coated. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. You ready for the final sunlight check, Eric?
Yes, excellent.
How's it looking so far?
In the garage, terrific. Let's take it outside and see.
Okay.
Wow, Nick, this looks really good.
I notice a little high spot right there on the glass. If you can see it in the corner, let me know. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Just right, you see that? Yep. It's just that wipes off real easy if we catch it within the first 15 minutes or so, especially first hour. But, I mean, it has a glow to it. How does it feel when you touch the handle?
It's very slick. Now, Nick, how long is this? Will it take to completely cure?
This takes about a week to cure. But if you get a bird dropping on here that's driving you crazy, you can wash this within the first few days.
Okay.
So after day 3, you can wash it. But it's still taking a little bit over a week to cure, I think. And then just don't use any ceramic cloths or any protection products when you do that first wash. I would just keep it a rinseless wash. You're not gonna need more than that. You have a coated car. If you wash this once a week, once every 2 weeks, all you'll need is some rinseless wash. And I know you're gonna keep up on it, Eric, so. Man, the benefit here is ease of clean, chemical resistance.
Excellent.
And I love just seeing it from different angles, looking for any high spot, hot spots, just kind of any areas where there's a T or an intersection, lower sections of doors, but just caught a few things and they just came right off with the towel. So that's the beauty of our coatings. They are so easy to work with. Any other final thoughts or impressions or anything you want
Well, down the road, when it begins to really snow,
Yep.
how will this do if I have to take it through the and get it cleaned? Through the
Touch-free or scratch pass?
Scratch.
It'll be fine. I mean,
Okay.
abrasion will wear down a coating eventually, but people who take their cars through the scratch pass actually should have ceramic coatings too.